from the Anaheim Convention Center. So click on the PBA.com today.
Pete Weber as the wild card match, Randy, continues here in Reno. Strike for PDW in the fifth. A 10-pin lead. Chance for a 20-pin advantage with a turkey ball here. 5 out of 6 frames. Perfect for Pete so far. Lane level look at it.
Wow.
Bust all 10 pins down to the pit once again. We mentioned the exempt tour for next year. A 64-man field is coming your way, folks, in PBA Tour action. 50 players from the points list and winners, 8 from tour trials, a minimum of 4 from weekly tour qualifiers. So there are chances for those who do not win this year or in the top players in points to still make it next year.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world, but it's going to be very difficult to get there if you don't make the top 50.
For a guy like Brian Kretzer, this is a critical event without question as he tries to make his run up the list. He's 52nd coming into today's action. Who's in so far? Patrick Healy Jr. A 2-year exemption after winning the TOC. The same goes for Walter Ray Williams Jr., won here last week at the ABC Masters. The rest have the single-year exemption, including at the very bottom, PDW himself.
And it seems like it was only about a month ago when Walter Ray was like 32nd on the point list. All of a sudden now he's 8th, but he doesn't have to worry about that either because he won the Masters in a 2-year exemption last week.
Kretzer.
Look out!
And down she goes late.
That bird dog will hunt. And a huge break, too, because that keeps the string alive and keeps Pete Weber on his toes. Watch this. Headpin going to the sidewall. Look out! Timber! Oh! You think Brian Kretzer likes that one?
4-bagger for Kretzer. Maybe the same for Pete. Looking for late help on the 4, but won't get it there.
Pete Weber trying to get that ball to push just a little bit longer down the lane before it takes. Watch this. Look at this hand right there. Look at that. The Pete Weber trademark, that open hand. One other player that does that comes to mind, Tommy DeLutz. But this ball cuts in a little too sharply, only leaving the 4-pin.
Takes care of the mark. Tommy DeLutz had that great run in Medford, but speaking of those two, Pete won on the bench with late troubles that Tommy had that day a couple weeks back in Oregon.
Late troubles in the form of a big-time ring and 10-pin. Tommy DeLutz needed all 3 in the 10th frame. Got the first one. Second shot was a ring and 10. Pete Weber down by 1. Needs to strike here in the 9th.
Big shot. Pete Weber gets 10 down in the pit. And of course his wife Tracy very pleased with that shot.
Much better. Right.
Pete last night, Randy, about how competitive he still is at this stage of his career. He said, I'm competitive everything. Even playing cards with Tracy in the room. Gin rummy. I want to win every time. Keeps the fires burning. 30 career titles and counting for Pete Weber.
Pete Weber, max score 258. Brian Kretzer, 269.
Big strike, foundation frame for Kretzer.
Come on, Kretzer. Okay, a strike in the 10th frame and 9. We have a possibility of a tie. 2 strikes in the 10th frame. Brian Kretzer will win this match. Talked to Del Ballard, our statistician, earlier today, and we talked about Brian Kretzer, whether or not he was rusty mentally. It's been a long time since he's been in this situation, and he hasn't bowled well all year long.
Big moment, friends. Jill and Madison back home watching along with the entire 5th grade class from Greenmont Elementary. Following Brian very closely in Ohio. And must love seeing that big shot.
Big time shot. But this is the telling shot right here to see where Brian Kretzer is mentally. This ball absolutely perfect. Again, if he goes 9 spare, he can't lose. A strike, he'll move on.
Brian Kretzer takes a re-rack here, wants to think about this shot a little more. Gives us time to tell you about the upcoming 61st U.S. Open. Notice the start time, folks. 12:30 Eastern on ESPN, 9:30 here on the West Coast. Presented by Jackson Hewitt Tax Service. Third of 4 majors on ESPN. It's a 2-hour show, as was the ABC Masters last Sunday at this very stadium. 10
Look out, here it comes. Oh, no. Doesn't count. It doesn't count. The machine caught the top of the pin.
I don't know either.
At least that's the way it looked from here. We're going to have to get a ruling on this. It looked like the machine caught the top of the pin. Take a look. 10 pin all the way to the right.
Can't see them there.
Hard to tell. Waiting for a ruling.
Tournament director Kurt Von Kruger will determine the machine did hit the 10 pin. And there's our tournament director Kurt Von Kruger making the decision.
They couldn't see it.
So the 10 pin is respotted, and he'll have a chance for a spare. Huge moment of the match.
Yeah, huge. But you know what? Brian Kretzer needs to regroup and make this spare, plain and simple, because he will force Pete Weber to throw 3 in the 10th just to tie.
Takes care of it nicely.
Pete Weber on the right lane, Dave Ryan, has left a 4-pin twice. If he leaves the 4-pin anywhere in the 10th frame, he's going to lose.
Would only be Brian Kretzer's second career TV win. He needs to make this 8 of 10 and then keep going. A strike or bust for PDW. 4-pin. And that's it. Brian Kretzer wins the wild card match.
4-pin, 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 all on the right lane. Pete was perfect on the left lane, and that was his undoing in this match. This shot looks pretty good. It does the same exact thing. It just cuts too sharply down the lane and goes just a pinch high.
So this match has been wrapped up by Brian Kretzer. In his career, he's now 2